The Today in Manufacturing podcast offers a powerful and unique perspective on the biggest stories impacting U.S. manufacturers. Anna Wells, David Manti, and Jeff Ranke apply their experience as editors of industry-leading brands Manufacturing.net and Industrial Equipment News in providing in-depth analysis of the latest headlines. Their insight, along with a mix of humor and human interest, makes Today in Manufacturing a go-to source. Keep pace with supply chain challenges, electric vehicle developments, labor struggles, robotics, and more by listening, downloading, and subscribing to the Today in Manufacturing podcast.
I'm Nolan Beilstein, and welcome to another episode of Gen Z in Manufacturing, a podcast where I interview young people about their journeys in the manufacturing industry. For this episode, I welcome Ava Raugust, a 17-year-old bilingual agriscientist and engineer. Raugust is currently a high school senior in California, where she is the president and co-founder of her high school's robotics team. Raugust's experience and accomplishments include an internship with DPR Construction, a first-place finish in the high school division of the SME Digital Manufacturing Challenge, and most recently, recognition by SME as one of the 2023 30 Under 30 honorees. Before we hear from Raugust, please make sure to like and share this episode of Gen Z in Manufacturing. If you are a member of Gen Z and would like to discuss your experience in the manufacturing industry, please get in touch with me, Nolan Beilstein, at nolan@ien.com. Well, Ava, thanks for joining us on Gen Z in Manufacturing. My first question for you was, what about robotics captured your attention when you were in elementary school?
Honestly, it was something that my parents wanted me to do initially, and so it was... At that time, we were kind of going through a family situation where they kind of needed to park me somewhere to do stuff, and I lost myself in robotics. It was great. I got to make new friends at the team, and I really fell in love with robotics that year, and I've continued it ever since.
Sorry to you probably heard this question quite a bit as you're nearing graduation, but what is your dream job?
Probably being a civil engineer. I think that even though I've always dreamed of becoming a mechanical engineer because I've been very focused on robotics for my entire life, civil engineering was really never an option that I actually thought about. But I had a summer internship this past summer at a construction firm, and I learned all about their build process, and so I was really interested in that, and I think I would like to continue that in the future.
What about that internship? Did anything in that internship spark your interest a little more, or show you something that you didn't think was possible yet?
I was very surprised. My mentor is an awesome person, and at DPR Construction, we talked all about kind of issues that are still in construction. It's not just, this is construction, this is the way it has been, and so this is the way it will stay. There's many innovations every day. There's while I was on the job site, they had these robots that would trace the layouts of rooms on the concrete, so builders could more efficiently and accurately lay out the rooms. And there was a lot of innovations in not only the software but the actual build process of construction. So I was very interested in that, and I think that's what sparked my interest in becoming a civil engineer.
How has your school supported your interest in robotics?
Well, the school is great. I started the robotics club in my freshman year of high school, and it was COVID. So I was distance learning, but I knew robotics was going to happen at high school because it had been such a big part of my life in middle school. And so I was able to reach out to one of my math teachers, and she referred me to our now robotics advisor, who is amazing and always supports us every step of the way. And so the staff really supported the robotics team throughout its journey.
You mentioned that you had a mentor. What kind of influence have mentors or teachers had on you?
Oh, a very great influence. They always taught me to keep an open mind and ask questions because, the worst someone can say is no. And so at the construction internship, going back to that, I think that my mentor really had a great influence in helping me become more open-minded, because as I said earlier, I was always set on being a mechanical engineer, but she opened my mind. She always asked questions. She always roped me into conversations and asked me what I thought about certain subjects. And so I think that experience really helped me broaden my perspectives and kind of see different careers that are available.
I don't know how much of a chance you've had to converse with people from older generations, but how does it compare when you hear how they talk in a collaborative setting compared to how people your own age converse with each other?
Well, I guess for one, it's a lot more informal, but I think my only professional experience has been at that internship. But even then, there's still workers that are cracking jokes during meetings. Construction has a lot of acronyms, so there's always funny stuff to make fun of. And I think although they might communicate in a different way, we're still getting the same point across. And we're kind of just like communicating in a way that's specific to our generation, but we're still achieving the same goals.
Now, how do you find a successful way to kind of bridge that generational gap?
I wish that there were more workshops for the older generation, like hosted by us. I think that'd be a really unique way to kind of bring these two worlds together. So like, I don't know, we could host a little robotics competition where some parents from our community could come by and do battle bots or something like that.
So say you're hosting one of these workshops targeted towards educating the older generation. What's like the main point you want to get across to the people who'd be attending this? There's
a lot of change that has come into the world recently, and of course there's always changes, and they know that. They probably experienced that from their parents. I always hear, oh, when I was a kid, this was this. But I think the main goal would be kind of, as you said, bridging that the gap between generations. There always seems to be this kind of invisible barrier between us, like, oh, that person's older, so I'm not gonna they're probably busy and too professional for me to ask silly questions. But a fun workshop like that would definitely bring us closer.
What kind of challenges have you encountered as you're pursuing your career?
I think the main thing is deciding whether I even want to pursue the career that I have chosen. I don't know what the future holds, and I probably will end up switching my major around and, keeping an open mind. So I think that uncertainty is one of the greatest challenges, because it's not a great feeling to just kind of walk into the unknown, but that's what life is all about. So I think it's all fine and dandy.
Are there any external aspects you think that are discouraging young people from going into the manufacturing industry?
I wouldn't say discouraging, but I feel like there hasn't been enough push to pull younger people into that industry. I, for example, only found out about the Society of Manufacturing Engineers because I was just scrolling through engineering newsletters, and I was like, oh, this one's interesting, I'll sign up. And so I don't think a lot of high schoolers just scroll through email newsletters, and there should be another incentive to get the younger generation more involved.
And it's no secret that the manufacturing industry is pretty male dominated. I mean, this is our 8th episode of this series, and you're the first woman we've had. So how could you encourage, how do you think manufacturing industry could encourage women to pursue it as a career?
Well, I think I was very pleasantly surprised at my internship because, construction is also very male dominated industry, but it wasn't, there was no discouragement. There was no, a feeling of discomfort. It was just, we're all the same here and we're all getting along. and we're going to do what it takes to achieve our goals. And I think that just kind of treating people like you're equal. That's how it is on our robotics team. Our robotics team is actually pretty girl dominated, but it's just, you're my equal and we're just going to figure this thing out together.
What are some common pieces of advice you hear when it comes to getting into this industry?
I'm not so sure I've received much advice on joining the manufacturing industry, but I think the biggest thing is kind of just trying things out. I mean, I don't know what I will pursue in the future, and so just kind of keeping an open mind and figuring it out as you go.
How do you think educational institutions can best support students who are interested in going into the manufacturing field or similar fields?
Our school is we're very traditional FFA, Future Farmers of America agricultural school. We have a rodeo right in front of our school. And so it's great and I love it and I love the culture here. But I think kind of bringing STEM into that without endangering the culture that we already have here. I'm all about bringing engineering into agriculture and combining them to make the best possible solutions.
What kind of education are you pursuing after high school?
I'm pursuing a 4-year undergraduate degree at, some college and in civil engineering with maybe a minor in environmental engineering because I really like that agricultural aspect of applying engineering.
Where do you stand on the whole 4-year degree versus trade vocational schools for those interested in going into manufacturing or engineering?
I think trade school is a great option. I know the reason that I'm attending a 4-year college is primarily because of family pressure. And so I'm attending the 4-year university, but I think if there was a great opportunity that would come along where I would leave school for a while, I would definitely take it because I don't think it could hurt me. And I think that trade school is a great option. I haven't done a lot of research on it, but I think it's great if you know what you want to do right after high school.
Your peers that share your interests, such as robotics, what are they planning to do in regards to education after high school? Are they leaning towards the 4-year degree, or are they looking at trade schools?
Well, in our robotics club, we have our business team and our actual robotics team. And so the business team they're more open-minded to keeping engineering in their future, but kind of focusing more on the human side of engineering. So maybe project management or searching for funding for research projects. And our robotics team, I'm pretty sure everyone wants to be an engineer, some sort of mechanical or engineer or a physics major of some sort.
Do you think the trade school, vocational school route still has a bad stigma or a negative stigma surrounding it? Or do you think that's kind of evolved as time goes on?
Well, if you had asked me before my internship, I probably would have said yes, because I think when I think of trade school, I think not very many females and not very many females at all. But after seeing how construction workers and project managers collaborate, I think that it's a really good option and definitely a lot cheaper than attending a 4-year university.
So by the time you're working full-time, what technologies do you think will be dominating manufacturing and engineering?
I hope to see robots doing the more physical parts of labor, the robot that draws the room layouts, or there are autonomous robots that can excavate all by themselves. So I hope to see more parts on that physical labor and more people focused on developing like AI and how that I'm really interested to see how AI will impact our future.
And how do you think Gen Z is going to be the main driver in all of these innovations?
Well, the next future kind of rests on our shoulders. So I think that we'll figure it out eventually. I think I think the best thing we can do is seek mentorship from past generations and kind of just keep an open mind. As the kids say these days, just be chill, just, just kind of don't go with the flow, but just kind of see where life takes you and kind of see how that impacts our future.
Thank you for watching this episode of Gen Z in Manufacturing. Please make sure to like and share this episode. If you are a member of Gen Z and would like to discuss your experience in the manufacturing industry, please contact Nolan Beilstein at nolan@in.com.